Hello, friends. Coming to you today from a different part of my living room. Um, I hope that you are all well. I hope that e-learning is going well. Today, the plan is to review sarcomere contraction and then talk about different, like where muscles are. So, pretty easy day. There's fewer uploads today, so hopefully that makes things a little bit easier for you. So, muscles, day 4. Here we go. Maybe. This seems fine. Okay, so starting out, bell work. The bell work's gonna have a few multiple choice questions. If I can figure out how to make like a sort or a list question on Google Forms, it'll have one of those too. Then we have some sarcomere practice, some muscle location notes. I made a Quizlet that you can use to practice. I'm not like assigning it, but it's there for you to practice. And then as always, an exit ticket. The exit tickets are worth 1 point. It's just so I get feedback on the day. Okay. Objectives. Okay, describe the physiology of muscle contraction in detail. You should be hopefully getting there with that. And then locate the name and major muscles of the human body. Okay, so the sarcomere storyboard. I'm going to have you make your own practice sarcomere cards using a template online. So if you have a printer, you can print it out and that's fine. But if you are like me and do not have a printer, I made my own. You can use note cards if you have them. I don't have any at my house, so I just used a piece of blank paper. I have pictures up on Haiku for inspiration. It's the steps of muscle contraction, like starting with the message um, from the neuron. So starting with acetylcholine, and it goes all the way through an entire muscle contraction. So you can put it in like a linear form, or you can put it in a loop. These are literally just to help you practice and get those steps down. So in order to practice, lay out the cards from the beginning incoming message from the nervous system, and try without your notes, and then reference your notes as you need. One thing that I do with mine is I just took a pencil, and on the back of each one, once I figured out the order, I numbered them on the back so they'd be easy to check. For additional practice with those, you can add an energy currency card. So on my example, they are written in a different color. So it's like saying ATP is hydrolyzed, the phosphorus is kicked off. Those little things that happen with ATP have their own separate little cards. These are other practice ideas, so try to find the muscle contraction events in your notes. The wording might be a little bit different. You can try to retrace the story working from the last step back to the first. Use the cards to help with your IP, and look for and revisit animations or videos following along with the cards. So you can always go back to those other videos that we've seen. Here is the key. You're going to want to pause this screen to look at the key, but this is the steps laid out. And then here is a picture of the steps. Once again, you're going to want to pause the video. And then here is the steps in a circle. Hopefully you can read that. And then we got the steps again in a circle, and this is one of my friends, Jensen. So steps in a circle again, pause the video to get more info. Okay, so from your homework, I want you to think about what the terms origin and insertion mean in the context of skeletal muscles. Question 13, IP number 3 is due today. Should have uploaded it to the bell work. Major muscle groups, origin and insertion first of all. So this is the beginning of our notes, so you can call these major muscle groups notes. Origin is the end of the muscle that attaches to the stationary bone. So on like your bicep, your origin, it would be I think it's actually on your scapula. So it's back on your scapula, and then on your bicep, the insertion, which is attaching to the freely moving bone, would be down here on your radius. So origin is the end that's like not a freely moving bone, and insertion is the end that is the freely moving bone. This is a blank copy of the major muscle groups that we are going to learn. there is a copy of it up on Haiku. I've added Google Docs because I know some people are having issue with the PDF and with the Word doc. So the Google Doc, everyone should be able to open. What you can open though on Haiku is a view only form. So you are going to need to save it to your own drive to be able to edit it. Okay, so major muscle groups, here we go. Starting with your trapezius. Your trapezius is in your upper back. It does the movement of your scapula, so that that flat bone in your back. It originates down the base of your skull, down to your last thoracic vertebrae. So it's a really long insertion, right? And these are not like freely mobile bones. And then it inserts on your clavicle, and it also inserts on your scapula. So that's the end of the muscle that like moves. Your deltoid. Your deltoid is in your shoulders, that big muscle on the top of your shoulders. It moves your arms, and it originates on your clavicle and scapula, and then inserts down on your humerus. Latissimus dorsi. It is in your back. It does movements of the arms. This one's super interesting to me because it originates all the way down your lower spine, and then it actually inserts on your humerus. So it like goes through your armpit to insert on your humerus, which is super fascinating. Your pectorals or your pecs, these are in your chest. They move your arms, and they originate on your clavicle, sternum, and ribs. So it's like origin, origin, origin. So it has lots of origin. And then it inserts also on your humerus. Lots of these insert on your humerus. Your gluteals or your glutes. So notice you have gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and then gluteus minimus. And then you have this orbiter internus muscle here too, but we're just going to refer to them all as gluteals. They're in your buttocks. They move your hips and legs. They originate all along your pelvis and sacrum, and then insert down on your femur. Biceps and triceps. So these two are called antagonistic because they work against each other, okay? So your biceps are in your upper arm in the front. They move your arms, and they do the flexion of your arm, right? So your arm can bend. They originate up on your scapula and then insert down on your radius, biceps. And they're called biceps because they have two heads. So notice here, they have two heads. Your triceps are on the back of your arm, in your upper arm. They also move your arms. They originate on your scapula and humerus, and then insert on your ulna. So your triceps are flexed when you extend your arm. The triceps are called triceps because they have three heads. Some other muscle groups, you have abdominals. So this is a bunch of muscles, but these are the ones that are in your torso. They move your spine and torso. They also protect that internal body cavity, and they have multiple origins and insertions. Up next, we got quadriceps. So these are in your thighs. You might hear these called quads. They're on the front of your legs. These are another antagonistic group. So your quadriceps move your legs, especially they help bend your legs. They originate up on your pelvis, and then they insert all the way down at your tibia, and they are antagonistic to your hamstrings. Okay, so quads and hamstrings are also antagonistic. Okay, so hamstrings. Your hamstrings are on the back of your thigh in your upper leg. They also move your leg. So when you're extending your leg, that is activating that hamstring. They also originate up on your pelvis, insert down on your tibia. They are antagonistic to your quadriceps. Okay, last one I think is the gastrocnemius. It's also known as your calf muscle. So it's on your lower leg, and it moves your leg and foot. It originates up on your femur and inserts down on your heel, and it's gastrocnemius. So here is the major muscle group picture filled out. And yeah. should be good. So practice. There's Quizlet to practice. You can also practice using this thing on Haiku. So practice, practice, practice. Get those muscle things down. We are probably going to take a practice quiz on Tuesday over muscle contraction and muscle location, just to see how you're doing. Okay. So it's practice points, low stakes, but I just want to see how e-learning is going. Your homework, muscle IP number 4, is due next class. There is a muscle locations reading that's on Haiku that will help you. So if you want more in-depth explanation of those muscles, there's a reading on Haiku. Don't forget to do the exit ticket. 1 point for the exit ticket. Don't forget to do it. I hope that you are all well and healthy and that you are washing your hands. Yeah, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming to class today, guys. Bye.